And Tams, I think that was a respect for I think that might have had something to do, Bone might have had something to do with that one. I think if Bone works with Dre, I think Bone might have something to do with that, just to show some love for the CPT and maybe some love for Terry Carter. I'm not sure, Doc.
Okay, and see, a lot of other people, I've heard the negative aspect of that Tam situation, and a lot of, so you flipped it in a positive. I didn't even think of Cleavon, which he was involved in that, but they're trying to say that was a shot at Suge Knight. I don't think Dr. Dre would do that.
I don't think so. I don't think that was a shot at Suge. Now that was too big. The last thing they want to do is shoot a Suge. They got to shoot a Suge for nothing. The fact that they on that stage and rocking the universe. A buddy of mine say, man, do you know there's people in submarines watching this shit right now? It's people, it's brothers in Alaska, in huts, in igloos, and people in tents, and people in submarines around the world that are watching this right now. Your club just got a major boost. Now, here's the crazy part. A lot of people don't understand why that's so significant, but you best believe my black ass is gonna let them know. Okay, I'm like James Brown. You ain't got to give me nothing. Just open up the door. I'll get it myself.
That's right. Man, dude. Let's keep talking about Eve After Dark. We've talked about it in the past, but since it's in the forefront now, that's awesome. And once again, what a great advertising piece. I'm sure many people across the world at least Googled Eve After Dark just to see what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's dope, dude. What was Dre's role at Eve After Dark?
Dre was a DJ at Eve After Dark, man. He was a DJ. He promoted sometimes. Dre didn't like promoting. He didn't like passing out flyers too much. He didn't hang posters. But Dre's job primarily was a DJ and chase girls. That was his primary function at Eve After Dark. He was a vice president in charge of vaginal acquisition. Vice president of vaginal acquisition. Okay, and DJ.
Scotty Spencer, is that Disco Daddy? I'm sorry if I'm.
No, that's Scotty Spencer. Scotty got his own. He got his own claim to fame.
I know he's my bad, Scotty. I know you're an OG. I've talked to Scotty on my show before. OG in the game. He says Dre started with Cletus Anderson, VIP Records, then Lonzo, Eve After Dark. That Super Bowl halftime set was big homage to the almighty Hub City Compton. It sure was.
I don't know about that one, but we ain't gonna argue on thing. I took Dre to do the thing with Cletus. I took him he didn't have no car. I took him to do the scratching on Killer Dayton's.
Oh, there you go.
Ain't much happen. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The stories in that he worked with Cletus. I think he might have did a record with Cletus before we did our own record. But the thing about it is, Cletus contacted me to get to Dre because I was selling records to Cletus and Kelvin them the scratch parties and the Z-Rock scratch parties and the mix tricks with all my labels, my underground labels. I was selling to Cletus and Kelvin and everybody else, and they wanted some scratching on Killer Dayton's, and I paid Dre. Same thing I did with Greg Mack when he wanted somebody to create the traffic jam. I got yelling Dre. That was my get down. So I was always in the background because at that point I was trying to do some other things. I never was a scratcher. I can't scratch my ass right now on the record, but that's just Lonzo, because Lonzo was always doing other shit. I never had time to practice like that. So when it came to contacting people and putting people in places, that was how it happened. Yeah, he may have worked with Cletus first on a record, but there was connection came through Lonzo to get to Cletus, and then we probably did. We did Juice after that, or Surgery after that. Surgery after that one. Yelling out already.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Cletus and Kelvin, I believe, were on Lonzo's show, and that story came right out of their mouths, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
So there you go. So Dre's role was to get some vagina and to DJ. Did he ever give you any problems?
Not a one. Dre he was always a jokester, man. I mean, everybody in the record crew was a bunch of clowns, man. We had a good time. We never fought. We debated and argued sometime. We never fought. I never had to worry about breaking up no fights with nobody. Dre was always super cool. His biggest thing was my biggest problem out of Dre was keeping his ass awake in the car, because I don't know whether he was narcoleptic or what, but he get in the car and before he hit the curb, he even fell asleep. And The next problem he and I always had, and this is something I just thought was so ironic when he got that deal, was he always broke my goddamn headphones. He always broke headphones. He always broke headphones. And I said to once, man, they ought to make headphones with detachable cords. Guess what Beats got? Now, y'all gonna think I'm lying because it's 35 years later. That's on y'all. But I'm telling you the truth. When, as a studio owner, you get tired of spending money on headphones every week. Because every time the phone rang, Jerry go to the phone, forget the headphones was on his head, and break the cord. Now you got a set of headphones with one side working only. Remember these new headphones, okay? And that's the kind of shit that would happen back in the day. And out of frustration for buying headphones, I said to him, they ought to make headphones with detachable cords. And Beats got detachable cords. I rest my case.
That's funny, man. What back then, what was Dre's best quality and what was his not so best quality?
His best quality is he always liked to dress. He always was clean. Never seen Dre dirty, nasty. He was always very clean. Always represented real well. Worst quality, motherfucker never wanted to be. He missed more planes than anybody I could think of. We'd have to lie to Dre and tell his ass we was leaving at 12 o'clock. If we had a 3 o'clock flight, we tell him we was leaving at 12, so he'd be there by 2. Okay, he would miss planes. Always back then. It was easier to miss a plane because you could have somebody run you to the airport and drop you off right at the gate. A lot of times we would leave the house, he wouldn't be there. I'm on the way to leaving him. We about to miss the whole plane, and he'd run up at the last minute like O.J. Simpson back in the day, and get dropped off at the doggone gate, and we damn near ready to get checked in.
Damn. Now, on a good night, what was the maximum capacity for Eve After Dark?
Maximum capacity was whoever had $5, they came in the club. The legal capacity was 299. We exceeded that many a night. That didn't mean shit. That was for the fire marshal. That had nothing to do with me. The Eve had back in the day, on one side of the Eve, it had mirrors on the wall. Okay, had these little smoke-looking mirrors on the wall. The condensation, because Eve was hot as fuck sometimes. When the Eve got to rocking, that motherfucker was a sweat box. It was a sweat box. And the condensation on the wall was so thick, look like the windows was crying. The mirrors were crying. It would be that bad, okay? The condensation, I mean, it was just like this water just be running down the side of the windows from the condensation of the heat from the room. And at the Eve, if your shirt wasn't soaked, you wasn't partying. If your shirt was not soaking wet, because see, we didn't back then, folks came to get their groove on. I mean, it was just like house party. It was like a big house party, man. You see people, girls and guys going at it with their little routines and shit. And we had a stage in the Eve, and it was just like Soul Train. If you got on the stage, you better be rocking. You better be getting down if you was on the stage. And we had some girls with some big asses. We call them the butt crew. And the DJ say full tilt, and the girls start shaking their asses like they're twerking now. But boy, it was a beautiful sight. It would never be anything like it again.